Okay, and good morning, everyone. Good morning. And today is the Back in Charge Blueprint client success story with Stuart. Now, Stuart has just come to the end of his 12 weeks in the Back in Charge Blueprint. So we're just gonna be talking about his journey through that, how he decided, that he wanted to get started, about his experience in it, and then also, most importantly, what has he achieved? So we're going to be going through all of that. But before we get started in that, if you are watching, please just let us know in the comments. Give us a wave. Give us a wave. Let us know you're there. Okay. And also, if you've got any questions, please just put them in the comments, and then myself and Stuart will be able to do our best to answer them for you. Right. So let's hand you over. So, Stuart, welcome.
Thanks, Adam.
Before we get into the details, if you just introduce yourself, who you are, where you are, and what you do.
So I'm Stuart Tragheim. I'm 60 years old. I'm now supposedly in semi-retirement, although that's not really worked out as I was planning. So I run a small consultancy business, my own business. I'm on the board of a local single academy trust. And I've just joined the board of another insurance company. My whole career has been in financial services. I'm married, got 2 kids who are now grown up and have produced me 4 grandchildren. So we've got busy times ahead.
Busy.
So lots of good things to do over the course of the next 20, 30 years.
Nice. And again, it's like you came into the program again, and also you knew people that had been through it as well, hadn't you? So that's right. Yeah, that's it. So let's take you back to the start. So go back 12 weeks. Why did we first start talking? What was going on that made you think, what, I need to have a conversation with Adam?
I think it was a timing thing and a recognition that the activities that I've been doing myself had not been successful and were unlikely to be successful over the long term. Having been overweight for my whole adult life, it's probably my whole life actually, most of it anyway, certainly since the age of about 5 or 6. I've tried numerous times to get weight off. Sometimes that's been successful, but I haven't been able to maintain that weight loss. And I know I needed to do something different. So when I was talking to one of the other people that has been through your program, and he and I had quite a long chat about why the work that you do is different. I thought, well, it's got to be worth a good go. I'm at a position now where I need to make long-term changes. Otherwise, I won't have a long and happy and healthy retirement. It'll be too short. And with grandchildren and children here, that's something which I'm not prepared to do. So it was a bit of a catalyst moment. I think it was the right messages at the right time, and an introduction to somebody who I know. 2 people actually who I know and whose opinions I really trust, and it's worked for them, so why wouldn't it work for me?
Yeah, nice. Now, just briefly, in the past, what things have you tried to to lose weight?
Yeah, mostly programs that are based on a single factor, so calorie control or something of that nature. And they have worked. If you go on a program where you restrict your calorie intake, if you're overweight, like I have been, you will lose weight. So I've tried all sorts of stuff, whether it's Weight Watchers or at the most extreme end, Lighter Life, where you end up on milkshakes and bars, 650 calories a day, and all that happens apart from you do lose weight is your teeth fall out and your hair falls out, and it's awful. So I've tried lots of different things. The most successful thing that I've done is probably Michael Mosley, following the programs of Michael Mosley, because of the way that he talks resonated with me. And as somebody that has had type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, etc., and he being, at the time, obviously he's passed away now, but being a very younger than me, fitter, healthier person, and still having high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes, there was a certain resonance, and that was the thing that really did work for the longest period for me. But as is ever the case, there are pressures, external pressures, internal pressures,
And then
corporate dinners,
and then we all then
and you drift
end up back in square one, right? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So cool. So like you say that you knew two people that had already been through the program, and all of that. So so like maybe the barriers there were slightly lower for you, but did you have any apprehensions about getting started in the Back in Charge Blueprint?
Yeah, of course. I suppose it's the usual thing about exposing your weaknesses to somebody that you don't know. We've never met before, for example, and having an open conversation is always quite difficult. Sometimes it's actually easier with people you don't know, but no value judgment and that sort of thing. But I think that was the most difficult thing. The most likely barrier was just getting myself over the line, that I had to commit to something that was different. And from the feedback from my former colleagues, I know that it's not easy. It's an element of work that you need to put in, but it's worth it, and it's worth it. It's worked for me. It's worked for them, and it'll continue to work. And that to me is the fundamental difference. It's not a program which is just about losing weight. It's a much broader impact on your life than just about weight loss.
That's it, and that's something that the work that you've done, and you were the reason why you wanted to lose weight. It's not just about losing weight. It was losing weight, but what's that going to bring to you, and how that's going to be the bigger picture. That's the that's the bigger power of it for you. So that's good that you discovered that. So how did you find the program? How did you find the 12 weeks in level 1? Like, how was that for you?
I think it's a program that's very logical, and as you move from one week to another week, and you learn more things, and you have to do different things, and you gradually layer up the work, layer up the habits that you need to execute always to be successful. I think you start off quite lightly, and it doesn't feel like there's much work to do, but by the time you get into weeks 3 and 4 of the 12-week program, you really do understand that there's something fundamentally changing here. And that to me was the reason why I succeeded, is that about consistency. And you and I have talked many times over the last 12 weeks about not beating yourself up when things don't quite work out, and if you have some problems, it's about getting back in the program, getting back on the horse, as I describe it. And it reminded me of work I've done before. Aspects of it, work that I've done before about consistency, and that very famous Aristotle quote about we are what we repeatedly do, and excellence is not an act but a habit. And I think that's absolutely right. And that's been the mindset change for me. Again, as we've discussed before, I've done weight loss on nutrition, I've done exercise, I've done mindset and psychology and that sort of thing, but I've never been through a program that puts all those things together and enables, encourages, supports, challenges the development of habits that are sustainable and are life-changing. And that to me is the thing that's the most impressive. It's knowing what I now know, and knowing that I can be consistent with everything that I do, and I'm now in control. I'm now back in charge of myself, and it's not only the physical side, but it's the mindset too. And I think the mindset is the most important part of the program. The outputs happen to be beneficial as well, which is I've lost a load of weight, but that's a byproduct of the process. The process is the most important thing. That's
it. It's like you say, you've done in the past. You've done diets, you've done exercise, and also like with what you do at work. You've done that psychology and the coaching side of it, but you've never put it all together.
No.
So it's like, and that's why, like you say, it's just that recipe, isn't it? It's now we've put it all together. And it's like, there you go, and you resonate with it all. So that's good. So come on in. Like, what's
what have I done?
Yeah, what have you done? What have you done over the last 12 weeks? What's happened? Like, what's changed for you?
Well, I've had to start buying new clothes, which is always a bit of a chore. I thought that if I lost a few kilos, I'd still be able to get away with the stuff that I was wearing before. And as you know, I'm going on holiday quite soon, and I put on a pair of cargo shorts that I've been wearing last year actually, and they just fell off. Physically, and I thought the last thing that anybody wants to see on the beach is me walking around with my shorts falling off. So,
I'm pleased you tried them on before you got on holiday, right?
Yeah, but as you also know, I'm a bit of a data geek. I like numbers, and if I look at the 12 weeks, I've lost just over 14 kilos, which is in old money is 31 and a bit pounds, 31 and a half pounds.
That's crazy, isn't it?
So 14 bags of sugar, if you think about it, just in terms of trying to carry that around. It's a small suitcase of weight that I've lost. On measurements, data on chest, I've lost 7 centimeters, so nearly 3 inches. I've lost 10 centimeters off my waist. I've lost 8 off my hips. I've lost 9 off my thighs and 2 off my neck. So in total, 36 centimeters, which in old money is just over a foot of lard that has disappeared, and the impact is obviously noticeable. And it's a journey. You know what my weight was when I started, and you also know that my weight was heavier than that when I first started, trying to do something conscious. And you also know that I'm not even halfway yet to what I need to do. But I now have a roadmap. I now have habits. I now have a process that I know that I can trust. And it's just down to me to keep building those habits and keep doing the work.
That's right. Like we say, when people come in and into the program, you're learning to ride that bike.
Mm.
But now it's like, yeah, you're riding that bike now. So you just got to keep, you can have a few wobbles, as we all do, but it's like, okay, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So that's really good. Like over 31 pounds of weight gone. You're shrinking, which is great. What else has happened? Like what else? Because I know that when you started, like you were talking and you said about you being like pre-diabetic.
Yeah.
That's where. So
medically, 2 fundamental things I think have changed. Once you get over a certain age and you get on a doctor's list, a GP's list, you tend to get chased up for tests. They either want to take blood, stick something inside you in a not very nice way, or whatever. So the blood pressure program, that's now that I'm over 60, that you get on, they start to check much more regularly, especially if you're diabetic. So my last blood pressure assessment was about 5 weeks ago, I think, 5 or 6 weeks ago, halfway through the program, and my blood pressure is now lower than it needed to be, and the monthly checkups are now only 6 monthly. So my BP is now lower than normal. It's not low in terms of being medically dangerous, but I think I'm averaging something like 117 over 75 or something like that. Whereas if you go back, even a few weeks, even on blood pressure tablets, it was still probably 20 points higher on each of those scales. The second thing was around type 2 diabetes, and I bought myself a masochistic machine that makes me stick needles in my fingers, and my blood sugar, my glucose levels are now below 6, whereas if I went back for when we first started, it was 11. So, and those numbers are consistent, and I know that if I carry on doing this, the 6 will go down to a 5, and it'll go down to a 4, and that happy days. So in my mind, I'm now kind of below pre-diabetic levels even, but I'm probably still classified as pre-diabetic, and I think I can get rid of the diabetes in its entirety, probably within the next month or 2. So medically, that's great. The other thing is the exercise regime. As you know, I've because I'm old, I've managed to damage an Achilles. But the impact of regular exercise just on steps and a bit of strength work and that sort of thing, it's quite easy to fit into your day. It was easier before because I didn't have 3 jobs that I was running. I have 4 jobs actually at the moment, but that's the way it works. But that regular exercise, getting outside into the fresh air, getting the vitamin D, getting into nature, the psychology the impact on your psychology is huge, on your psyche is huge, as it is with the other habits that I'm now doing every day. Things that I've tried before and haven't been consistent with, I'm now being very consistent with, and they make a huge difference. And I think how I feel about life generally, how I feel about me, how I feel about my relationships, how I feel about my plans, is changed, and it's changed all for the better.
Nice.
And that's great.
That's good. That's good. It's really, really good. Again, so you're getting, like you've got the wins, like the data, that part of it, but then you've then got the like the medical side of it, the physiological side wins. They're coming down as well.
Yeah,
so that's really good. And then you've had the psychological wins as well.
Yeah,
so that's all there as well, which is really, really good. Really good.
I'm less grumpy than I used to be, probably, is the nicest way of saying it. But
well, that's it, right? But then, but that's the thing. Now look, like you're now less grumpy, so then it's now, you're now going to be less grumpy around your wife and all of these sorts of things, and so it's just that it just helps everyone else.
Well, it snowballs. That's the thing.
It
snowballs. I'm a naturally quite a positive person generally, and I'm very energetic, and I've got high levels of commitment to what I do and that sort of thing. But that's normally on things that are work related. It's not on me, and that's been one of the bigger shifts, is recognizing that nobody's going to impact me apart from me. I've got to do it myself, so that's great.
Yeah, exactly. Kels has just commented, that's a huge win, being less grumpy.
Yeah. Is she waiting for you to be the same, Adam? Is that what it is?
That's exactly what I was just about to say. Probably is, right? She's probably thinking, Adam, elbow, probably getting Adam, take note, be less grumpy. Yeah, that's it. So, yeah. Thanks, Kels. Well, thanks, Stuart, for bringing that to her attention.
My pleasure.
That's it. Now, when we first started, you said about, you go through the modules and but you start to get more connected. I need to lose weight. It's very surface level. You need to lose weight, and that's what it is. But it isn't until you're in the program you start to understand, well, why do you actually want to lose weight? We have a little conversation about this at the start, but it's only just a scratch the surface.
Yeah.
And then for you now, it's like, now you've got some big reasons why you want to lose weight and improve your health in that.
Yeah.
Now, these aren't things that are going to happen now or in the, in the next 6 months.
Yeah.
Now, how confident do you feel in achieving those?
I feel very confident, actually. As at today, if I look at my plans, they're all in place. I've got a number of reasons that are bigger than just losing weight for wanting to do this program, as you know, and some of them are family related. And some of them are personal. They're about having a long and happy, healthy retirement with my wife, who retires next year, and they're really important. I've now got 4 very young grandchildren, all aged 2 and under, and at some point in the future they will grow and they'll get married and all that kind of stuff, and I want to be there for them and for my 2 sons and their wives through this next 20, 30 years. And you kind of think about it, most people plan, like I do, for a holiday, which is, I'm going to go on holiday in a few weeks' time, and therefore I'll plan where I park the car and which flights I'm going to be on, which hotels I'm going to stay in, and that sort of thing. And everything's quite short term. And I do that like everybody does, but I've never really had a plan or even thought about it in that much detail about the longer term position. Now that I'm 60, can I make 70? Can I make 80? Can I make 90? But why would I want to do that? And the answer is to be there for my children and for my wife and my grandchildren. I don't want to be the dribbling old doddery grandpa sitting in the corner of a wedding where people have to bring food on a plate because he can't get up, and he never has a dance, and he's just covered in cobwebs because he's inactive. That's not the future I want, and it's not the future I want for my wife, and it's not the future I want for any of us. So there are some really powerful motivations which I don't need to keep checking in on, because they're there and they're at the forefront of my mind. There is a very, very strong and powerful set of reasons why that I've developed using the program to help articulate what that future might look like. and building those habits that are going to enable that aim to materialize, that goal to be real, is very powerful. But it's just the goal unless I take action. And I think that's the thing, which comes back to the consistency point. Doing small things every day makes the difference to the long term. It's a bit the analogy that I shared with you before. Is can you imagine what the foreman said on the very first day when he was going to build the wall of China, Great Wall of China, and all he had was a load of groups and some bricks, a group of guys and some bricks. And it's the right, lads. What we're going to do today is,
we're going to build this.
We're not going to build 2,500 miles. We're going to build 20 feet, whatever it is. But we're going to do that every day for the next 400 years or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So it's powerful. It's powerful as long as you open your mind to it. It's powerful stuff.
Nice. So Stuart, if someone's watching this video and they're contemplating, reaching out and potentially joining the Back in Charge Blueprint, what would you say to if you were having a conversation with that person, instead of just saying, "Oh, just do it," what would you say to them?
I think the first thing I'd say is speak to people that have been on the program and find out what they experienced. Speak to you offline before making the commitment so that they understand what they're likely to experience. And it's a different program. Sorry, the program shape is the same for everybody, but the experience that you have going through it is different, clearly. And therefore, being confident that it's the right program for you as an individual will be key. Recognize that it's a commitment, not only a financial commitment, but a time commitment. And also recognize that you have to do work. It's not something which you can, just join every now and again and say, well, it's not working because I haven't done anything this week. Well, that's down to you. So understand that it does take a bit of effort, but it's effort that everybody can do. It's not like you've got to go and climb Mount Everest, day 2 or something like that. These are important small changes, building those habits, understanding the technology, understanding the nutrition aspects, the education. Again, you and I talked about this before. It's linking up those 3 important areas around nutrition and physical well-being and mental well-being and building those habits. And if people want to do it, they should take that first step. But the first step is find out what you need to make the decision for you. If it's a positive outcome, great. I look forward to seeing you on a call. If it's not a positive decision, then what else are you going to do? It's a bit like, when do you start? There's no you can't start early enough. Even if you've got big things coming up, Christmas holidays, summer holidays, Easter, it doesn't really matter. Start the process. Start building those habits as soon as you can, and it makes a difference. And it also gives you the wherewithal to be able to deal with things when they don't go right, or when you have problems. I went through a period, as you know, a few weeks ago, where there was corporate dinners, there were family parties, there were birthdays for the young kids and all that kind of stuff, and that you're not going to be able to stay on a regime because you can't measure anything, you can't weigh anything. And in the old days, you just go, "Oh well, I'll just give up." And now I don't. It's like, well, okay, that's a small rock in the road, it's a bump in the road. I know that tomorrow I can do what else I need to do, and I don't beat myself up about that anymore. So that confidence around being able to maintain the habits is really important.
Nice. That's really good. And again, at 12 weeks, it's a long time, but it's also not a long time. But you've done amazingly well, Stuart. So
it's not long when planning for 30 years.
But that's the thing, isn't it? This is the thing. A lot of people think, "Oh, it's such a long time, 12 weeks." Well, how long have you been struggling with this?
Yeah.
So you've made big changes and that in such a short time. So you're doing really well, and I'm excited to see where you're going to be this time next year. Get ready for your next holiday this time next year. So that'd be good. Yeah. So Stuart, thank you for taking the time out today. Really appreciate it. Just sharing your journey. And again, for anyone that is interested in the Back in Charge Blueprint, please just send myself or Kerry a message. And Stuart, if they're connected with you, are you fine if they send you a message?
More than happy. I'm more than happy. No problem at all.
Thank you. And again, just thank you so much